in order to explain the balance between phonetic forces, we are required to go for some more detail, right? This balance is very, very important. And as human beings, we are maintaining this optimal, minimal requirement for the ease of speech sound production as well as perception, right? So the balance is actually maintained between phonetic forces because we are by nature very intelligent, lazy, creature. We are intelligent, lazy because we do not actually go beyond the required level. And for that purpose, we create balance between the phonetic forces. And this balance is actually the result of the intelligence which is bestowed upon human beings by nature, right? So that's the explanation of that balance between phonetic forces. You may remember that the ease of articulation is one of the important feature of human languages, right? And that is that we maintain least possible effort for production of speech sounds, for the production of language, right? And then at the same time, we also maintain this, least required effort for listening, right? And that's the feature of human language, right? While explaining this least effort required for perception, let me explain that the sounds are maintained by human languages which are distant, right? Which are different, which could be distinguished, right? And they are constant, right? Why are they constant and why are they distant? Because that's the ease of the perception. Since we are, habitual to use the ease of articulation, at the same time, we are also habitual by default to use the ease of perception. So in order to remain at ease while perceiving language, we are focusing always on constant sounds and on distant sounds, right? Like the minimal set of English language, beat, bit, bat, bat, right? All these four words, they have distant and constant vowels, right? So the middle sound is different in all these four words, and that's for the sake of the remaining at ease while perceiving, right? This potential position of a sound is basically, that's the ease of articulation and that's the ease of perception. That's active at both processes, not only at articulation but also at perception. And we are perceiving these sounds using our capabilities while focusing on something, on sound, which is the constant one, which is the distant one. And if you just remember your reading of the course book and also some of your general readings, the difference between the global listening and the discrete listening, right? So most of the time we are listening globally, the general listening, and only in the case of a very specific requirement, we listen specifically, right? So that global listening is the part of our nature, right? And we are at ease while perceiving. And that perception is a very good, a feature of human language. And through this ease, we maintain the balance between the phonetic forces, right? One more important point, that the articulatory processes, these are syntagmatic, right? Syntagmatic because we are, doing assimilation among the adjacent sounds, right? Between the adjacent sounds, right? When sounds take place together, right? So that's syntagmatic relationship. And the ease of perception, right? The perceptual processes, these are based on paradigmatic processes, right? Because we are actually, we are focusing on the sets available, and then we choose among those sets, and then on the basis of those sets, we, while remaining at ease, we are using the options. So that is the paradigmatic. The articulation syntagmatic, and the perception is paradigmatic when it comes to the balance between the phonetic forces, right? So one principle which is used in this ease of perception is the sufficient perceptual separation. We sufficiently separate sounds in order to be at ease while perceiving, right? And we are roughly evenly distributing vowels in languages, right? And that's the reason that vowel sounds are very few in languages. And the example are the Spanish, Hausa, Japanese, Swahili. They have 5 languages each, 5 sounds, 5 vowel sounds in each language, right? And 2 of them are most of the time from the front vowels and 2 are from the back vowels. And 1 is in the center, right? So the front, so the distance, just see the distance, that they are not, they are all of them, the 5 vowels, they are not from the front. Neither the 5 vowels are from the back, nor are they from the center, right? So there is a distance, front and back distance, right? And then the constant position, because the constant in the sense that if one is the high, then the second is the low, right? They are not from the one. So that distance is, the sufficient distance is maintained, right? So that's the principle of sufficient perceptual separation for the sake of ease of perception. And languages, they focus on the maximum perceptual separation, right? Because that maximum perceptual separation is required. That's the basic part of the perception of the language, right? And then the distance, that's approximately distributed. And this means that if one is taken from the front, then the second is from the back, right? So there is appropriate balance and approximately equal distance. And that's for the sake of, the increase of ease in perception. And through this ease of perception, through this ease of articulation, we maintain balance between the phonetic forces.